It's so nice to have the right name used. At the PSA, I've been to many an event, and everyone keeps calling me Ricky. Not every trans person's called Ricky. And tonight I was called Shelley. So eventually, I've been introduced as Joanne, so thank you very much. There are plenty of publishers out here, aren't there? Book authors. Every speaker needs a book. Isn't that right? To be an authority. I'd like to think I'm quite an authority on my own particular characteristic without a book. But I thought, yeah, let's write a book. So I decided this afternoon to start writing my book on a fag packet like you do. And I've called it The Quick Reference Guide of What Not to Ask a Trans Person. AKA, don't be a dick. Because I stand on stage here and I know what a lot of you are thinking. And when I meet people, they ask me the same questions. So I've got a whole repertoire of questions and answers that people always give me. And the first one is, have I had the operation? Which one? I had my appendix out when I was 6. I had a hernia operation in my belly button a few years ago. I've had my ears pierced. Does that count as an operation? No. The operation. Oh, that one. No, I haven't. But when I go through airports, I mean, you go through airports, we all travel, all jet-setting international global speakers earning our fortune, we travel through airports. You know, you stand in there, there's this big archway. We're taking our jewellery off, take our shoes off, take our slippers off, and we walk through hoping it doesn't beep. And when it does, you get ushered to one side, and there's someone standing there with this like little baton thing. And you look down, and you can see this little picture of a human being outlined, can't you? Because you've had to stand there like this and adopt the pose in the airport. And on this little screen is a silhouette of this person with this round circle here and this round circle here. And this woman who's about to search me looks at me, I look at her, she looks at me, I look at her, and I think, I know what you're thinking. Yes, unexpected item in the bagging area. The other question I get asked is, which toilet do I use? I've spent almost 40 years of my professional life, and I've finally become a toilet consultant. I was at a convention the other day, and there's some questions and answers from the audience as I'd finished my talk, very empowering, very passionate. And this old man stood up, sort of a bit like Alan, stood up in the back, and said, "My wife and I were talking about you last night, and we want to know where you stand on toilets." I said, to be perfectly honest, these days I sit down. The next question I get is, am I still married? Yes. And then they want to know, is my wife a lesbian? I say, well, she wasn't when I married her, but apparently she is now. Nobody asked her permission to rebrand her. The other one I love is, do you know Jane, my friend who's a cross-dresser from Barnstable? There is no international directory of trans people. We do not have this secret code. We're not some sort of Masonic-y sort of trans order where we all know each other. And I certainly don't know Jane from Barnstable, I'm afraid. But I'm also asked, do I notice much difference between men and women? And I realise that both men and women were all competitive. So I was in a bar in Brick Lane, I don't know if you've been there, Monty's, it's a fantastic bar. No evening ever finishes well when you say, I started the evening in Monty's. So there I am, The men are comparing their broken noses. Really proud of the number of stitches they've had. 3 days later, I'm out with a group of girls. And they're comparing their vaginas and how many stitches they've had from childbirth. And the final question I get asked is, when did I transition? When did I change? I said, well, I don't think of it so much as a transition, just a rebrand. Yeah? Bit like we did with Starburst and Opal Fruit, Sif and Jif, Yule and Ole. See, I'm just like Marathon and Snickers. Still sweet, slightly smaller than I used to be, and still got nuts. Thank you very much.